still a good morning here on Urban today, and of course, just in the first hour, we just specifically paying tribute or highlighting as we're in the season of commemorating the World Tuberculosis Day. And just like we were with the team, it's a great encouragement that if somebody out there can get to know that it's very important to get tested and be sure or get to know about your status. And we shall be bringing you more on what comes out of this commemorations of this particular day. Joining me right now on the set, we're not discussing yet 2016 elections. That's why the faces here may not be of Museveni, Besigye, or any other person. But we have some youngsters, and we kept being told they are the future leaders of tomorrow. Guys, are you the future leaders of tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah. Tomorrow, when is tomorrow?
Any day from now.
Okay, joining me on the set right now, Irumba Victor, Kyambogo University. They're getting ready for the elections. And Irumba Victor is the FDC flag bearer. Does that explain is that the color of FDC? Okay, good to have you on the stage today.
Thank you.
Right in the middle is another aspirant who would love to fit in the shoes of Rebecca Nintuma Kadaga. Now, this is Mundu Nancy, who is the NRM flag bearer, equally standing in to be the guild president of Kyambogo University. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And on my immediate right, don't be deceived by the necktie, he's actually not UPC. Moy, is this Moy?
Yes, please.
Moy Joseph Lokinomo. Now, I hope I don't murder your name. Lokinomo, is that right?
Right.
Perfect. He's standing as an independent. But why the red necktie then? Because you know colors mean a lot in our setup and society.
It's fine, but colors even won't matter because they're a lot.
Ah.
So I don't have to ignore green because it goes to DP, nether red, and all those other things. But they basically mean nothing in my life.
So Uganda is a country of many colors.
That is it.
Great. Okay, let's strike on to business. The elections are on. The outgoing guild is a lady, right?
No.
It's a gentleman. Now, we've seen, let's start off from here. We've seen a trend in Kumba University, Makerere University have been having female guilds. And I know that equally in Makerere right now, there's so many, actually, two of the strong contenders are female. What do you feel about standing with a lady, actually contesting with a lady? What's your general feel about it? Let's start with Victor.
Thank you so much. I'm Victor Irumba, the FDC flag bearer. About that, really, I should say, as Victor Irumba, to come back to that competency and even back to the constituency, here as the Kyambogo University at large. What is the competency? What are the electorate saying?
Do you feel threatened by her?
Threatened?
Yes.
You say?
Yes.
I don't think.
Okay. Moy, what is your general feel about? Because this is a changing trend. Before we used to have a society, whether it was in Makerere or Kyambogo, whereby it was a man's thing. Do you feel threatened by this? Do you feel overjoyed that the ladies are equally coming to walk shoulder to shoulder?
In respect to gender inequality, I do believe humanity must walk on the same pace. That is, even ladies must take the course that gentlemen can take. So when we have such a session like the political run, it wouldn't surprise me to see a lady running on the same page.
Do you feel threatened by her?
Never, I cannot feel threatened.
Nancy,
Yes.
do you feel threatened by this gentleman?
I'm not.
Not at all.
Not at
Now
all.
let's strike to the core of this. We're starting with you, Victor. And each of you is going to have 2 minutes. And if any Kyambogo student is watching right now, any student anywhere that is watching right now, you're going to give us a 2 minutes manifesto of what you think you're going to do for Kyambogo University. I hope, is there any one of you ready, or shall I start with Victor? Victor, if elected guild president Kyambogo, given the background of where Kyambogo has been, oftentimes there's been a tendency for leadership in institutions like colleges and universities to feel like, well, it's just something I'm going to stand for the sake of it. But we're talking about serious business. We're talking about serious leadership. We're talking about you actually being raised to be a leader that's coming in the next 1, 2, 3 decades. So in 2 minutes, what do you intend to do for Kyambogo, Victor?
Thank you so much. Victor Irumba, we believe that Kyambogo University, the far it has come, we can't afford to get back to where we've really been. It is a time that at least we can have the consolidation of academic scope. It is actually the time that we should deter abnormalities from Kyambogo University. It is the time that we should engage in the policy drawing, right from administration, period. And I'm actually seeing that what has actually affected Kyambogo University, there's been a dictatorial nature right from the administrators, compromising the leaders, manipulating them. It will take an individual that shall stand for the interest of the students. Time has come that we shall also merge or bring back an inter-union, intercultural union, to do away with the tribalistic kind of politics, or rather the leadership in Kyambogo University. I really feel that the sanitation in a Kyambogo University as an institution, it is not as per the standard. I mean, we should really have or devise mechanisms Going back to the infrastructure, Kyambogo University, it will be quite political ambitious. The fact that a period of 6 months in leadership, everything will be very okay in Kyambogo University. But I believe in laying a foundation, raising a stepping stone, harmonizing an academic hemisphere that each and every student will be able to fit in. We have an estates officer, but when you look around, look at the infrastructures, it doesn't look like a university, I'm sorry to say. But we have funds that can help in the renovation. I think apparently they just worked on a few faculties. But go deep down in Kyambogo University minus these upraised infrastructures, rather structures. It is so alarming. We believe in lobbying. With a guild income of over 500 million, it is very little to run them as a project. But can we lobby? Can we engage in dialogue? Can we guide and document? They normally say that you should not tell anything wrong about Kyambogo University. But then how? Should we also keep the facts about Kyambogo
10
University?
seconds to go.
Thank you so much. But should we also keep all of this beyond, rather aside? So it is a time we stepped in. It is a time we stop being compromised, and we shall stand for the values of Kyambogo University. We take sacrifice, commitment, and also to consider the electorates.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Nancy,
Yes.
why do you think the electorate, the suffrage in Kyambogo, should actually elect you as the incoming guild president and not Victor?
Yeah, you know one thing as Nancy, I want to say that I was once in Kyambogo. It's not a new place to me. When I was here in 2008 as a student in Kyambogo, there are so many things that I enjoyed as a student compared to what I'm seeing now. And this takes me back to look at the history of Kyambogo. In 2009, Kyambogo was ranked as the second best amongst the universities in Uganda. When I was looking at my Google accounts yesterday, I was able to realize that Kyambogo is 9th, which means there is some kind of deterioration in the performance of Kyambogo University as an institution. And now this is what brings me up. I say Kyambogo can still regain its glory. What has happened of recent is that there have been rampant strikes. When you look at Kyambogo, we are now called the strikers. And when you also look around, you find that the sanitation in Kyambogo is so poor. Yeah? You also find that the academics has gone down. And we are asking ourselves, what has gone wrong with Kyambogo? This has to be restored. And we also look at insecurity matters in Kyambogo. 2 weeks ago, there has been a rape case in Kyambogo. And you wonder what is happening with, I mean, an institution of that kind of, reputation. Looking at the medical center, it's really ill-equipped. Way back, we would go to the medical center, and if you're not treated, you're referred to Nsambia Hospital. But last week, when we buried a student from one of the mighty halls of Kyambogo. So we really see that there is a gap in Kyambogo between the students and the administration, between the guild and the students' body. And all this in the constitution is well stipulated that the guild is supposed to be one of the bodies that bridges the students and the administration. So I, as Nancy coming in, I believe that I have the potential. I've been an administrator. I think I'm actually working, but at the moment I'm a student full-time in Kyambogo. So I believe that I have the capacity. I have some administrative characteristics that can help me assist the students and take them to another level, just other than watching what's going on in Kyambogo University.
If you just joined us, it's Urban Today. This morning, we're hosting a team of, I would call them delegates and potential guild presidents at Kyambogo University. And if you want to be a part of this, you're a university student at Kyambogo or any other university or any other young person or any individual that's watching the show, you can participate by checking out Urban TV and log on to Urban Today. Send in your comments. If you have any question, any comments whatsoever, get to send it through. And right now, we turn our attention to Mr. Moi Joseph Lokino Moi. Do you have any inspiration from President Moi?
Right, I have it because he has walked the path of leadership and I've gotten some glimpse from him, so I do believe I have it.
Okay, Mr. Moi, why do you think you should be another Moi in Kyambogo University as president?
Right, Moi itself is an acronym now this time for Kyambogo, which means Master of Eternity. That was the title that the students gave me. So we are walking down the path of prosperity in Kyambogo University by virtue of the fact that I am running this race for the guild presidency. I have been in the University of Dar es Salaam, Nairobi University, Jomo Kenyatta University, having the physical outlook of all these greater institutions and flashing back to Kyambogo. I therefore treat Kyambogo as simply a glorified high school. Now, I want to uplift the status of Kyambogo University. One, I am planning actually to link Kyambogo University to the outside world so that The guild themselves, the students' body, connect, whether engineers, they must be equal to the engineers of Dar es Salaam University. The social scientists, the administrators, I must link them. That's the basic reason I am running this race in my manifesto. Now, the second thing I am planning to do for Kyambogo University, actually, we are going to secure a guilty lawyer by virtue of the fact that a lot of compromises, a lot of corruption exists in Kyambogo University, and students strike often and they suffer. They have always been arrested. So I am planning to secure a lawyer for the guild to offer them security so that they don't suffer enormous action that they have been suffering. That's also one of the reasons I am running this race. Then the third thing that I want to do for Kyambogo University is we are going to link up with UNSA, the national students body in this country, Uganda, with the ministry, so that we really check the status of our lecture room, the infrastructures over there, the nature of the library. It is actually falls in the docket of the Ministry of Education to ensure that Kyambogo University this time round is rehabilitated. And the fourth thing that I will do for this greater institution is that has been a lot of creepers, a lot of difference between the administration and the students' body. Now, I am coming as a sacrificial lamb to ensure that I bridge this gap. It is very important because I wouldn't enjoy living in an environment where students' body are not actually respected by the administration. But you know, even the National Constitution Article 1 states that the powers lies in the hands of the people. And in the Guild Constitution of Kyambogo University, Article 3, it states that the sole responsibility of the guild is to protect the interest of the students. Now, we are having a run to ensure that we protect the interest of the students by bridging the gap that exists between the students' fraternity and the administration. And it's only me who can do that, I am sure of it. Even the students themselves know. Now,
10 seconds, sir.
All right, it's fine. So we are moving forward. I remember the first time we were having a race, that was the manifesto launch. Me, I ran my race in a common philosophy, that is the revival of value, of which I told my students that we are not launching the manifesto, but we are having a kickstart to the revival of value of Kyambogo University, which has been lost for a number of years ago. And it is the reason I am running this race. And I believe my students know it very well. Thank you very much.
Well said. 3 presidents, potential with just 1 president to be the Guild of Kyambogo. Will it be the Master of Eternity, Moi, who, what did you say? Savior of some, there's another phrase you used? You're a wordsmith, aren't you? And of course, will it be the only lady in the fraternity here that is an NRM flag bearer, or will it be Mr. Rumba Victor, who stands for the FDC flag bearer? Before we take a break now, a quick one. Victor, I think I'm going to start from this side now. What is that one huge major problem that Kyambogo faces today, and you have a practical solution, and you can tell us on the set right now, this is what I'm going to do? Because what people are looking for are not just, they're not looking for soothsayers, they're not looking for just seers, they're not looking for just prophets. They want people who have leadership skills, leadership abilities to deliver practical, lasting solutions for the institution or for any other institution thereby. What is that one huge problem that you can identify, and what's your practical solution to it?
Well, of all the diverse problems that Kyambogo possesses, I know corruption that exists in the administration is the biggest issue, and it is affecting and crippling the students' social welfare, both in and out. Now, I have a solution to this corruption. First of all, I have been liaising with the Office of the Auditor General, me myself. I have ever written letters there. We have ever held meetings with the Office of the IGG.
Wait a minute. Are you all in agreement with this huge problem? Be aware that your Chancellor, your Vice Chancellor, and all those people are watching. Do you acknowledge that that problem actually exists?
Yeah, there is corruption, but to a certain level, it is up to the auditors actually to look into it.
No, don't worry about who it is up to.
Yeah.
Is there corruption?
It is.
Massive corruption, like you're saying.
Massive.
Okay, take us to the practical solution.
Well, just as I told you, I have been holding meetings with these people, and now I am looking at a way forward to hold an independent verification team where students' body of Kyambogo, people pay the tuition, but this tuition are divided in 2. Other part of the money go into private accounts, which is a clique of the bankers within Kyambogo and the senators. Now, when this money accumulates, they actually distribute it amongst themselves. And now, by the time these students finish their time for studies, the year 3, the finalists, now, if you go for verification, you realize that you have a lot of debt at the university, yet you have authentic bank slips and authentic receipts stamped. Now, right now, as I talk, the Auditor General has established actually an audit team, which is almost 6 months old since last year, around November there, till today, they are there. And right now, as I talk, I collected data, about 789 million shillings has been paid back now. The money that was eaten by the senators and the cliques of the bankers. So it's the reason we are running this race, so that we fight this corruption together. And I am sure I will do it with the Auditor General and the IGG.
Nancy.
Yes.
Please, we're with you now.
Yeah, the biggest problem I find in Kyambogo is about the tuition payments of the students. Because as you realize that our socioeconomic status are quite different. There are those who can afford it in time, there are those who cannot afford it in time. And one of my major issues at hand is that we are liaising with the Minister of Education, Honorable Jessica Lupo, actually to bring in the loan scheme as fast as possible, so that before the end of the semester, students are able to access the loan forms, they are able to fill in and apply their loans in time, so that by next semester, as we begin a new year, they are able to access the loans in time and at least have some kind of, let them be settled in time, so that they are not running up and down looking for tuition, because we know that this loan scheme gives them some kind of security for their education, and then after that, they are able to repay it after the education. I think that's the biggest achievement I can really give to the students of Kyambogo, by lobbying and making sure that the loan scheme is in place before the end of this
Victor, in
semester.
less than a minute, please.
Thank you so much. About Kyambogo University, allow me to say Kyambogo apparently has become a community well, that each and everyone will just come and draw and they take. There's nothing like giving back. That is the state we are in. I've seen negligence in Kyambogo University with a legitimate kind of thinking employees in Kyambogo University. I mean, they're not answerable to anyone. They're just legitimate. After all, it is a public institution. It will take somebody that is actually so much compelled to go ahead and bring a task force to zero down all of this. I mean, if today even a lecturer can act, a part-timer can go with even the results of the students because they're not being cleared. At the end of the day, we're running out to the departments and it's actually nothing. And we are saying who is responsible for this? They are responsible, right from the administration top, period. Because they actually think that public institutions, they have no instant supervision. And even actually to urge, you are urging the Minister for Higher Education, please don't come out when things are they're actually running off fund. Let them be there. When actually a disclaimer of the Minister, Jessica Alupo, giving and saying that Kyambogo affairs are out of my hands, then we are wondering if the Minister for Education can actually remark. I think we've also been, as students as well, we've also drawn back. Can we come on board? It discourages when even an independent like Irumba Victor will come out to stand for the Kyambogo's interests when we are ourselves, we are behind, saying who is there. I've heard that it's demonstration. And even want to clear, Kyambogo University does not demonstrate. We do not strike. We simply stand for what is right. We're simply demanding. So we can't say that can we come on board and put our efforts together. But gone are the days of the legitimacy, employment. If police, I want to thank the IGP and Afande Kawesi. Right now they're asking police to come on in the case of any negligence. There is a penalty, there is a demotion. Unlike in Kyambogo University, where a dean of students, or rather a head of department, results will delay and they're still on board. I mean, they're not answerable to anyone. And we've kept quiet. We shall walk this down, and even the students know that Irumba Victor, I assure you, even if the lecturers or the deans of office, if they cannot contend with Irumba Victor's presentation, or maybe the pressure that I'm putting on, please then keep out of Kyambogo.
Victor, is that a threat?
Not a threat, not a threat. And we want to emphasize this. If you cannot contend with Irumba Victor as the guild president of Kyambogo University, because you want to do things in an individualistic way, because you're going to push on your ideals, please leave Kyambogo alone to go ahead to prosper. It is far beyond even the Vice Chancellor, the Dean of Students, whosoever thinks, even beyond Victor Irumba as an individual.
Okay, awesome. We will take a break shortly. Just on the seat on Urban today, I'm trying to wrap up some business with the to-be guild presidents at the Kyambogo University, and we know that the elections are forthcoming. How important this is the fact that we keep talking about the future leaders. We keep talking about who the leaders are going to be tomorrow, who the top CEOs are going to be tomorrow, and indeed we look at this generation for tomorrow's answers to the many myriads of problems that we have. But if you have a concern, query, comment that you'd want to submit, just get onto Urban Today, look up for that page where you can send in your contributions, your comments, your questions, or anything. We'll be back shortly after the break to wrap up our conversation today.